Hello, and a very warm welcome for the first time as a podcast from the grad newsletter team. My name is Ruda Landman. This week and for the rest of this month, we're talking money. You probably think you have so little there's no point in thinking about managing money. Only rich people do that, right? Wrong. Smart money principles will help you to stretch your money now, and if you manage it well, you will enter the working world without unmanageable debt, ready for success in the future. Our slogan for this month is avoid short-term disaster and build long-term success. Before we get to the nitty-gritty of a budget, just a comment about money and emotions. Understanding the principles of money isn't difficult, but sticking to what you know you should do can be very difficult because of our emotions. When you're stressed and tired, you may want to order a takeaway whether you have money or not. Wanting to fit in with friends can lead you to buy something you don't really need and can't really afford. Your family's needs can be emotionally overwhelming, making you hand over money that you absolutely need for your own expenses. You cannot avoid these emotions. Just be aware of them, recognize them, and deal with them rationally. Do not let your heart rule your head when it comes to money. Okay, now let's talk about budgeting. We have said before in these newsletters that you simply cannot handle money without a budget. If you just start spending on the first day of the month, your money will be finished long before the last day of the month. Your budget is your instrument of control. It is the first tool in your toolbox for avoiding short-term disaster and building long-term success. If you have 20 minutes, you may want to watch Jennifer Ngumalu's video. Look for her on YouTube, Jennifer Ngumalu. She's actually talking to people who are earning already, but the principles are the same, and she's great at explaining it simply. Jennifer Ngumalu. When I started working a long time ago, most transactions were done in cash. Every month, on receiving my salary in the bank, I would draw it all, and then I would divide it up in a series of envelopes marked rent, groceries, petrol, church, clothes, whatever. That method still works. If you go to TikTok and you look for hashtag cash stuffing, you will find amazing videos. You will probably not use cash. It's a pain, and it could be dangerous. Use the same idea, splitting up your money into separate units, but do it on paper or on an Excel spreadsheet. Start with how much money you have every month. You may have a bursary, you may do tutoring, or even have a side hustle selling snacks, braiding or cutting hair, or network marketing. Add it all up, how much you have every month, and write that down. Now divide that amount into all the categories of things you spend money on: rent, clothing, books, food, transport, family support, airtime, emergency savings, etc. Some of these happen every month, like rent and groceries and phone costs. Those are regular expenses. Some only happen now and then, like clothes and books. Those are irregular expenses. Build in an amount for these irregular expenses every month and only spend it when you have enough in that column. If you put away 100 Rand for clothes every month, for example, you can buy winter shoes when you have enough money without spending that month's grocery money on the shoes. The third step is keeping track of your expenses. This is a bit of a pain, but it will make your life very much easier. It means that you have to write down everything you spend in the relevant column. If you buy takeaways for most meals in the first week, your food column will soon run empty, and you'll see it. So next month, you'll know not to do it again. So make your columns At the top, you write bank, which is the total amount of money that you have, and then you split it up from left to right, say food, toiletries, airtime, clothes, emergency, family. Let's work with those 5. Now you put your budget in the first line, the total amount, and how you want to divide it up. Say food gets 1,000, toiletries 300, airtime 50, clothes 150, emergency 100, family 100. That makes up the 1,700. Next month, you will have a line under that saying from last month, but for the moment, there's nothing there. You may want to look at the newsletter on your phone or your computer, the newsletter in the email, to see what this looks like in practice and not necessarily on paper, but in writing. Okay, so you've got your budget at the top, the total under bank on the left-hand side, and it's now been divided up into all the different categories, 5 of them, as we have in this example. And now, as the month progresses, you will fill in what you spend. Say you go to Spar and you spend 70 Rand. Minus 70 in the bank column and minus 70 in the food column. You go to Clicks for toiletries. Minus 50 in the bank column, minus 50 in the toiletries column. So it comes out of the bank, out of your total amount, but it also comes out of the specific column for that item. Literally, your bottom line at the bottom of your page is the running total. If you've taken 70 Rand out of food, then that comes off, and the available amount, which is your bottom line, is now no longer 1,000, but 930, etc., etc. So at the end of the month, you have a bottom line of available amounts in every column. Some columns will run into negative amounts there. So you carry that over to your next sheet, just under your budget at the top, from last month. And I'm afraid if you overspent on toiletries, say, then this month you have less. That's how it works. Hopefully, emergency will soon have enough money for a ticket home if Granny gets ill. Toiletries will have enough for that special face cream you've been eyeing. And food will break even every month. That's the idea. Check your budget after, say, 3 months. Is it realistic? If you overspend on one item every month, ask yourself if you can live on less. Can you bring down your food costs, for example? If not, you have to adjust the budget. Something else has to get less. Otherwise, you have to find an alternative source of income. You may have more sympathy for our Minister of Finance after this exercise. The temptation, of course, is to buy on account, going into debt. And we'll talk about that in our next podcast, about good and bad debt, because not all debt is bad, but a clothing account definitely is. In the meantime, happy budgeting.